Anyalatu, anyalatu, ahandai shumbaganyalataya humbai, anyalakayata humbai, ala shumbanyalataya gunganyalataya shum, anyalataya hunganyalaya hum. Inyalataya humba shanganyalataya ahum banyaya hando ahum bayaya ahum banyalayanda ho inyalataya anda shum inyalataya humbaya shumbay inyalataya hum inyalataya hum inyalataya humbaya humbaya shumbanyalaitai shumbanyalaya hunganyalataya shum inyalataya hum inyalataya hunganyaya hunyay shumbaya laya hunganyalataya yandu inyalatay imanya humbay imbanyalalaya humbay Haunga shabajam banyayindo Ham banganyala shumbanyalatay Ambakangata shumbanyalataya humbay Humbay anyalandaya hum Imanyalaya hum Inyalataya humbanganyalataya humbay Imbanyalaya humbaya humbayaya humbanyandaya hum Inyalataya hunyabayondo anyaya hundai hundo Ahandai hundo Ahandai hundo angatiashando Agiashan yakondai shumbanyaraya dum Imbanyalatay hunyala bumbay andai shumdaya ganyalaya humbanyaindu Hambanya shumbanyalangunya shumbanyay Inyalataya humbaya ungashinyalayandutayanganyalaya bum Imbana shunyalay umbakanga shunyalataya bunganyalataya gumganyalataya bumbanyayandukanda shumban Imbashanyalataya umbaya hum So there's been a lot of energies I think we can all agree recently, especially this last week. I slept a lot over the weekend. It was really strange. But the purpose of me being in here tonight is to talk about the word deserve. I found this to be a real heavy-hitting meditation, and just to remind everyone, or basically a channel transmission. Okay, so that's the first thing. To remember that when you are working with these transmissions, these words of the days, They are free and they're located on YouTube. Mahana, that's okay. And they're packed with a lot of energy, and that energy is a transmission and will be helpful in helping you as you work through your subconscious and the attachments that you have to some of these words. And a lot of the information that's coming in is kind of like mind-blowing, and I found deserve to be one of those mind-blowing days. So, and then just to refresh, because we didn't really get into, and there might be some repetition during some of the days, but the beings are always reminding me that repetition is often a good thing. But this is just a reminder that, one, when we change our language, we're changing our brain, and our memories do not live in the neurons. They live in, hold on, I totally lost my train of thought. So we have neurons in our brain, we have neurons in our heart. And sorry, I can't even read my own notes, but I do want to mention this because this was a fascinating experiment that I came across. They found that instead of using a lot of the silicone, I want to call them wafers, a lot of the silicone chips to store memory, they used a drop of water. Now it was highly structured water, and it was compressed into compressed into like a chip, but that it is the water that interfaces with the machine. And what happened is that this drop of water became more powerful. So they were looking at this water and they're like, how is this drop of water holding all of this information? And basically they found out that it's the drop of water was actually connecting with the quantum field, like with this field of energy, like outside of itself. And so when I heard that, we are the same way, right? Like we are water, we are this drop of water, and it's not that, well, yes, we can also hold like an infinite amount of information, and now accessing that information is a whole other task, right? But we are this drop of water. So we are the technology that we've been waiting for, right? Like the beings and the crystal skulls are constantly saying, we are, meaning humanity, we are the technology that we've been waiting for. We are this drop of water. How are we this drop of water? Because everything in our body is crystalline. We are water bodies. The cetacean beings are always reminding us of this. They're constantly toning the waters. And if anybody lives near the coast, you'll notice that the cetacean beings, aka the whales, have been really like coming very close to shore. And I know that this is like that time of year, but it's from what I've seen, and I live near the coast. I mean, not near the coast, but I do go to the coast, and my parents have been sending me these, like they're taking them with their cell phones, like they're getting that close. And what I gather from the cetacean beings and from the whales when I tune into that is that we all know that we're undergoing really big shifts, right? But everything that is here, all of the plants, all of the animals, we're all going through it together. But these huge, amazing beings, these cetacean beings, which are connected to the galactic energies, are just helping us by they're toning our water bodies, like through the water, right? So that we can adjust when we connect to these solar frequencies. Even if we don't want to connect to the solar frequencies, these energies, they're coming in. So when we're working with language, especially especially now, and I really feel like this is why the dragon beings really brought this forward, beside the fact that they're really into working with the subconscious, like full force, is that now more than ever our language is vibrating at this. It's not that our language is vibrating necessarily any different, but that we are entering into we have the potential to choose to enter into a higher harmonic frequency. And I like that term, harmonic frequency, because density and dimension often get mixed up, and they're definitely not the same thing. We're going to be going over stuff like that in the course Meet the Galactics, which starts this week, and it's definitely not too late to sign up. So if you're interested in the Ascension, if you're interested in Galactics, if you love transmissions and activations, if you love light language, definitely come and join us. It's 10 weeks. There's payment plans, totally affordable. You can email me, you can direct message me, or just go to my website at galacticashley.com. But the point of all of that is that we have the potential right now to move into this higher harmonic frequency. And when we're doing that, and a lot of us have been, but we're like dancing between the third and the fourth, and we can more permanently experience the fourth harmonic frequency. But, and I don't say but I say but, but when we are in that fourth harmonic frequency, our words are going to be amplified, right? Because the energy is faster, we're manifesting faster, we're co-creating faster. So the power of our words is even more important now during this transition. And this is the other thing that the beings always talk about, specifically the dragons. And they talk to me a lot about this, so I will share this with you, but they've also talked about this with others, is they talk about sometimes when something occurred within the third harmonic frequency, we have to solve it in the third, or we need to take care of it and kind of, Mahana doesn't, she agrees, but she thinks it's boring. We have to kind of take care of it in that dimension. So here's an example. Let's say you got a speeding ticket, you're going through a divorce, but you're like, it's almost wrapped up. There's a couple of more pieces of paperwork. There is some Jiminy Christmas. There is some paperwork left, or there is a ticket that needs to be paid. There is something that's just very 3D. It is necessary to go in and take care of that and wrap it up. Why? Because when we are straddling these multi-dimensions, and for those of you that are like, but I thought we were in the fifth harmonic frequency or in fifth density, that's fine. Go ahead. It doesn't matter. Third, fourth, fifth. If you want to say fifth, it's these three. They're constantly in flux, and we're kind of like straddling all of these because we haven't quite shifted as a collective, and there are still parts of us in the third dimension. As much as we want to sit here and go, in love and light, in love and light, there's still some stuff there. Now we're also being offered the opportunity to heal a lot more rapidly, and that is what a lot of these frequencies are helping us with. They are shaking the barrel, and at the bottom of this giant barrel you have this sand and this dirt, and it's like, oh hey, you still have some stuff down there that you need to take care of. Let's knock it up for you so that you can go strain it off the top. So what does this do with words? So when we are using words, when we are structuring our life, when we are using words and understanding that they are the architecture that we are building that we are constructing our foundation and co-creating our world with, those words become really important. And deserve was a big, like, boosh. I just read some of the the transcripts from it, and my skin was like, not crawling, but like electrified. So there's a lot of power in that one. Let's see. So here's the other thing, right? Okay, so let's say we are the water, and our water, which has the potential, when it is highly structured, similar to the way that this water drop was structured, when we remember that it is our language that comes through our voice, which is structuring our water body, that was why the cetaceans came in earlier, is because they help us to come in and help tone the oceans, because they're toning her water body. And if we are connected to the earth, which we are, but when we are consciously connecting, we can receive some of those frequencies, and that is wonderful and useful. But the cetacean beings also want us to know that we also need to take responsibility and to tone our own water bodies through our voice, through our language, through light language. But it doesn't have to be light language. Just the power of your voice is enough. Your voice is I would argue that it is the most powerful healing tool that you have for yourself. They've done studies on this about how your brain responds to your voice. Your DNA, every thought that you have, everything that you say is downloading that. It's just so we are downloading this stuff all of the time. So if we are a drop of water interfacing with the field, the quantum field, the way that we use language structures our water bodies, preparing us for access. So how are you structuring your water body, right? And this isn't to like avoid words. I said this before, but I'll say it again. It's not like we're not gonna say any of those words. We're only gonna say some words, just the good words, right? But we're trying to go into these regular everyday words that we use and really dig around in them, and well, the beings always say, lift and enlighten, heal and forgive. We are lifted and enlightened, healed and forgiven. So that is sort of the mantra that we're doing when we go through these. But not only that, it's like these transmission / meditation things, like I'm getting a lot from them. It's not like I don't get a lot, but a lot of times the information that I'm doing for other people, because I'm able to bring it out in that moment, generally means that I've brought it out through me first and sat with it and done a fair amount of integrating before just like going out and being like, hey. So I'm actually really loving this word a project. Shouldn't call it a project, word game. This word game that we're doing. So we can talk about the word deserve if you want. Oh, so one of the things about the word, anchor into the field available to everyone. I think we talked about that last time in the last live. Yeah, we just need to be, we're creators. Okay, I'm not gonna get into all of this craziness. Let's go to the word deserve. I really wish this was more interactive in here. But that's okay. It's good. Oh, so wait, before we even get into the word deserve, this is something to think about. One of the things is we all can think of a time when somebody was a jerk and they said a whole bunch of words to us, and those words like shattered us, right? So it's also important to think about all of the times that somebody didn't say something, because those are really important times to go back to and to tell yourself what you wish would have been said. So when you're working with these words, if it triggers something and it takes you to a time where you have experienced a wounding or some sort of trauma, do not judge the trauma, because the body can hold on to something that you like might not even think is a big deal. But when you were 5 or 6, you and your body thought it was a really big deal, and then your body keeps that. There's a really incredible book called The Body Keeps Score, and I highly recommend it. But our body through all lifetimes is downloading those experiences within us, and they are oftentimes surfacing here. This is why if you were stabbed in the shoulder in another lifetime and that is how you died, or if you have like dry mouth all the time and it's like a really big deal for you, it could have meant that you've been hung. Or if you have shoulder pain, it could mean a lot of things. So our body is literally keeping score, and it doesn't forget. And our bodies are really our best friends. Whether even when we don't treat them that great throughout our life. And not only are they our best friends, the beings came in and they told me this once, and I definitely started crying. They said, what is like the one thing that has never, ever, ever, ever abandoned you in this lifetime? You might have abandoned it if you've ever had if you've ever left your body because there was a traumatic experience, but it has been present, and it has been taking every single experience that you, the emotional body and the mental body, all of these bodies are experiencing, and they're bringing them into the physical structure. And the way that we talk to our body is programming it. And not only, and you think, oh, I'm really conscious and I know what I say to myself about my body, but do you maybe you do. I'm not here to say that you don't, but when we're going through these words, it would be an opportunity for you to heal anything that maybe is in the subconscious that's kind of like hiding underneath these words. And I promise you, because the beings have been saying this, my nose itches. Sorry, there's a lot of energy here, and some of the beings like to make my nose itch. It's funny, not funny. But hold on. The beings, the body, just lost it all with the itchy nose. Maybe they wanted me to get back on track where I was. The way they talk to the body. Oh, they've been talking a lot about, because everybody really, I want to manifest and I want to co-create. When you work through your languaging, and I don't mean finding the perfect word in order to say the right intention or incantation or whatever it is, I mean truly fully understanding on all levels what the words that you're using mean to you. Then you start having really powerful words, and then those words start to form a structure or an architecture for this thing or this energy that you are inviting in, that you are co-creating with the universe. So what happens is we sometimes are like, I want a new car, so I'm going to sit on my bed and I'm going to think what it would feel like to have a new car, and then I'm going to manifest it. And that might work, I don't mean to be making fun of that, but it definitely sounded like I did. I feel like sometimes when people are talking about that and only that, it's doing a disservice, or if it's not doing a disservice, it's not including like the whole picture. Because the most important thing to remember is that when we're doing anything, when we're trying to co-create anything, we are sending out frequencies, and those frequencies are looking for frequency matches. And everything that is a part of us, including our subconscious, is going out with those frequencies. So let's say you do have something that you want to co-create. If you find a short phrase or some languaging around the thing that it is that you wish to co-create, like maybe you've sat there and you've written your intentions down. You know why you would like to bring this energy into your life, whatever it is. It might be abundance, it might be good health, it might be a new dog. I don't know what it is, but that new dog is more than just a dog, right? Like, it's important to know, if you are trying to manifest a new dog, why do you want the new dog? Is it just because it's been COVID time and that you feel alone, but maybe as soon as you get the dog, you don't want the dog anymore? So what we want to get is, we want to get to a place where we have pure desire, like almost to a point of longing. And when you can get into that, not out of need or necessity, because you will die without it, because you're going to have to release the thing, right? So that it can manifest in what I mean by manifest, so that that energy can build exponentially beyond what you thought was possible. And then when you take the language that sort of is underneath it, then this becomes this foundation that you pair this deep desire to experience or to co-create, and then you start really interacting with the quantum field. And it's not that you go to it. When you do this, you open timelines of potentialities and possibilities, and then those start to become probabilities based on the small choices that you make today. And then what happens is, you don't go to them, they magnetize to you. That is like a key thing, is that you are magnetizing these to you. And I think this is something that we're actually going to work on in the Meet the Galactics group too, is we're going to talk about how our future selves work with our past selves to leave our present selves messages, and how we can connect to those and then bring those through and heal within us, and then sort of start having a multi-galactic / multi-dimensional perspective of what is happening here. Because there are, one situation that you are in has about 50 things that are going on with it. So once you start connecting to, I'm just going to say your multi-galactic self, but this could be your celestial self, multiple aspects of you that are healed, that are divine, that are living in other higher frequencies, or that are of higher intelligences, we can use that word, working with them so that you can see like they are seeing, and be able to observe yourself, is so beneficial. Because when you can start tuning into that and becoming that and integrating those energies into you, then when you're moving along in your life and your experience here, little things don't really rock the boat, because you see from 5 different perspectives why that is happening, including from the human perspective or the ego perspective. So back to the beginning, when you look at these words, this is what I am suggesting to anybody that is listening to this, is to, you don't have to go through all 30 days of this, you don't have to do any of this, but if you're only here for today, try this, especially if you're somebody that I really like co-creating, it's really fun, because it is fun, and that is also the kind of energy that you want to bring into it, is this desire and this joy. And this is how artists work, right? Artists are constantly interacting with the quantum field. And it's so sad, because art is so shut down, and there's a reason for that, right? Because The easiest, fastest way when you feel out of alignment to get aligned is to just start creating something. Plant something, do something that is creative to you. Draw a picture if you don't draw. Do something that shifts your energy where you enter into this creative state. So it does not surprise me that creativity was sort of kicked to the curb over time. Okay, so if you want a challenge, the challenge is this. If you would like to co-create something, aka manifest something for yourself, come up with a phrase or a sentence or something that you are going to be working with to do that. Take every single word out of that phrase and deconstruct it. Deconstruct it. What does it mean to you? So if you, let's say, for example, you're like, I want to manifest more financial abundance in the form of cash money, right? So what happens is you need to look. I can tell you that the key word in there is money. And sit with the word money and really dig around and try and understand what and how you actually feel about money. Because maybe you say that you're fine, and totally, maybe you are. And if you are, that is definitely something that you want to look into for your soul's purpose. Because there's a lot of people that need help with that. And if you're not okay with it, then maybe there's a lack of self-worth, or maybe you feel like you don't deserve. And this is what's going to bring us into the word of the day finally, because I just went off on 1,000 tangents. Is start to dig around and to truly try and understand what money means to you. Frequently, money is related to the lower chakras, or oftentimes childhood, any sort of foundational energies that were maybe wounded, any kind of stability. And I have also found that people who need to heal their relationship with money, oftentimes working at healing their relationships. So choosing a relationship in your life to work with ends up healing the money relationship, because the money isn't the issue. It's our relationship with that money, with money, that is the issue. And that money is showing you how you feel about yourself, and is reflecting really how you feel about yourself and how you feel about relationships. So sometimes, especially if people have been working a really long time at understanding finances and numbers and all of these things, and that's another thing I would like brainstorm all around the word money. Might have to do with numbers. It might have to do with math. Maybe when you were like 12 and you're a woman, somebody said girls don't do math, and then that sent some kind of a trigger. And I mean, it can be the smallest thing that then becomes the biggest thing, because these are the set points that we have when we experience something. They become the set points. So if you experience relationship for the first time in your life and you happen to be 7, and based on the people that are around you that are demonstrating what it means to be in a relationship, if you see relationship as you needing to be less than the person that you're in a relationship with, it means that your relationship with everything it will mean that you must be smaller than, or you must be less than. And I mean your relationship with your body, your relationship with the earth, your relationship with boys or girls or parents or teachers, your relationship with money, with everything. So first 6 years of our life, maybe first 6 to 10 years of our life, a big deal, because these are when these little set points go in, and they sort of like start the bifurcation process, or like you can think of it where a crystal starts to form and sort of go out from. These are our little crystals that have formed, and they start creating this field of energy that just repeats that pattern with everything over and over and over again. So we have to go back to the set point, the beginning part of that, so that we can understand it. So if you feel that you don't deserve money, then we're going to look at the word deserve, because I don't know how much time has gone by. So the word deserve. So basically, this was a big, a big hitter. So this is definitely, if we were in like a class, we could definitely talk about this. So essentially what the dragons and the galactics were talking about is how deserve came and became, and divorced itself from our innate ability to be of service as the divine beings that we are. So this is one challenge, and I remember a long time ago, actually, I decided I was going to stop using that word. I don't know why that phrase sounded so weird. I was going to stop using that word. And there was a period of time where I was choosing words out of my vocabulary, and I stopped using them for sometimes several weeks, sometimes a month. And one of them was sorry. I was the type of person that I said sorry about everything, but I wasn't apologizing for the thing that I did. I was apologizing for who I was. So I stopped saying sorry. So I always challenge people to do that. So unless you punch somebody in the face with intention or purpose, don't apologize to people. And it's something that empaths do a lot, because they're trying to actually control the situation. And empath is probably like, what? Control? I don't control. Well, you're controlling by basically being self-deprecating and saying, I'm so sorry, I'm such an idiot, da-da-da-da-da-da-da, because you are giving yourself the punishment and hopes that the other people will be like, oh, well, they're aware of what they did. We don't need to punish them. That way you're controlling the situation rather than just taking responsibility for whatever it is and then giving them the opportunity to say what they're going to say, because they could actually be really, really understanding, or they could not. But that's sort of like a trauma response too. Okay, so deserve. Don't say deserve for a week and see what happens. Just try it. And the reason why is because deserve is in many ways synonymous with entitlement. And so automatically it's based on an action that has to do with merit, which means that you take an action, therefore you have earned something. So then do you see how like all of a sudden you're not in service anymore? So then deserve, like it's, the beings are basically like it's taking away the service. It's no longer about being of service. It's about deserving. So it's like, then what happens is you don't serve because you have the love in your heart and you have the bandwidth. You serve because you go into a state of judgment and you think, oh, well, that person deserves my healing energy or my healing frequencies. And then the other end of it is very much people, like if you grew up with a lot of trauma, or you've always been working on self-esteem or something like that, a lot of times deserve was used against you. So have you ever had somebody like in your family come up to you and say, well, what did you do to deserve that? Or do you deserve that? Or do you think you deserve cake or ice cream or water or whatever it is? Do you deserve this? Do you deserve, like what? So then what happens is, and why this is, it's not funny, but it's just funny because I'm not really choosing the words in the order that they're going, but like all of these are connecting, right? So you have to prove to someone outside of yourself But remember, there is no such thing as proof. There's only observation. So you have to prove to something outside of yourself that you deserve something. So you have to like prove that you are worthy of receiving a service, like a basic service, right? It's like, unless you're like, I don't know, even if not, like if you want a gold ring with like a diamond the size of a pancake, I don't know, that's the only thing I could come up with. Maybe you have to deserve it, I don't know. But but what was so deep about this one, I know we've only done 3 words, but it's my favorite one. This was definitely my favorite transmission, and if you only do one, I wonder what's going to happen in like 20 words from today. I would definitely go and do this one. I'm trying to find a quote from them. Oh yeah, okay, so they had said that deserve was designed to separate you from serving without attachment, without expectation, and without attachment to outcome, right? So now every time, so then what happens, this is how sneaky programs are, and how unconscious, like subconscious and unconscious like conditioning happens, is it sort of just like sneaks in there. And then all of a sudden you find yourself like attached to, and this is very common for light workers and people that have their business, like you get attached to your ability to do your soul's purpose, right? Like it's clearly okay to want somebody to heal, but you can't be attached to that, because truly they're the only person that can actually decide if they're going to receive the healing, if they're going to integrate it, and if they're actually going to heal. So I would say anytime you ever find yourself being attached to something that has something that's very directly related to the way in which you have come here to serve as God or goddess or as source, to think about when you start doubting your service, or when you start creating attachments to your service, it might be that you are the one that doesn't feel that they deserve to be doing this kind of work, or that you might be creating judgments or other attachments around your abilities to do that. Let's see. Oh, and that's okay. So if that was the other thing, if anybody's ever, this is just manipulation, so horrible. If you've ever been abused, a lot of times the abuser will say, well, you deserved it, right? Or you're hit because you did something. Nobody deserves to be hit or beaten or killed or any of that. But that is frequently the word that is used is yep, you deserved it. They said so many things, but there was a couple. It's just a lot of it is just proving to yourself that you deserve something that you've labeled as good. So this is another language thing that the dragon beings always talk about. They also set challenges where they suggest that you don't describe things. So if I ask you about your day, don't describe your day to me in a way that categorizes your day or your experiences in your day as being good or bad. Try and like talk about them in a way that is based on the experience or maybe the feelings, but try not to label those feelings, right? Because we don't we can feel good, right? But it's not that you feel good, it's that you feel a sense of what? Like joy or wonder, but it's not even that. It's like, what did you feel that then you're like attaching this emotion to? So try, and it's that one's a challenging one. Let me see. Oh, right. Okay. So what is, this is not funny. Anytime I say funny in these things, it's always like funny, ironic kind of. So we experience the heart first, right? When we are in an embryonic state, it is the heart first, right? So we have the heartbeat of the mother within the crystalline waters, but it's when we become embodied, it's the heart that comes first, right? So we are our divine light structure that offers us the opportunity to be of service within this experience, and that develops from the heart. And the heart is the first to appear in the embryo, and it is the resonating one, right? So our heart comes on first because the rest of our system, the rest of our bodies, all of them are meant to resonate in heart coherency with the heart, right? So, and the purpose of that is because we are meant to feel the world, especially in this experience. Not every planet, experience, existence that you have had includes an emotional body, not like this, and not one that's separate from the mental body. So in a lot of ways, I mean, this earth experience is like, it's a one in a lifetime. That was me, and that wasn't wasn't very good. It's rare. There's not a lot of other Earth-like planets, and there's not a lot of other Earth-like planets with like the stuff that's going on like this. And not every planet has free will in the way that we do, where there are these polarizations. So there is an element of free will. If you choose to go to a planet that's all love and unconditional love, you made the choice to go to that planet to have that experience. But when you're on that planet, there isn't free will, because nothing bad can happen to you, right? Because you're working on something, but there isn't necessarily free will, but you can say that the free will happened before incarnating on that planet. So this planet that we are on is quite unique. So we are meant to feel the world and not the hierarchy, right? So we are here to serve the world and not the power or the hierarchy, because it is the hierarchy that is false. It is the hierarchy that is inorganic. It is the hierarchy that creates the frequencies that separate us from our divinity, which is to serve from light and love, to serve as source, because we are source. And so instead, what has happened is, because we started feeling the hierarchy, we started feeling worried, ashamed, all those things, frantic, what is the word, scarcity, all those fear. We started feeling afraid. So then we start serving the hierarchy, but not really serving the hierarchy. We're feeling the hierarchy instead of feeling the world around us, instead of feeling ourselves, instead of trusting ourselves and our emotional intelligence. And we start basically seeing and looking around to seeing not who do we serve, but who deserves what. So we end up serving the power because we perceive that power or that hierarchy as true, and what that hierarchy is telling us to do, we do, because that's who and how we end up serving when we don't know, right? And then when you start to kind of like wake up and become aware, then you're like, wait a minute, why am I doing this? Just because somebody told me to do it, or or you can do it, but you choose to do it. And that's a lot of where the sovereignty comes from, right? So when we are removed from love and from serving, we are separated from our service, and it becomes about showing actions, right? Then we have and then we have attachments to the way in which we serve, and then we have these belief systems, and then we start creating programs that, you know, we do this with our kids a lot of times, usually because it was done to us, but then when you become aware, then you can stop. But this is kind of like where it all comes from. And so I encourage all of you, when you have the time, if you were to only pick one, of course in 20 days ask me what my favorite word is then, but at this point, if you were only to pick one, I would say the deserve one was felt very powerful to me. Because it really brings everything into question, and deserve also connects to proof and belief. I mean, they're all connected. Because being of service doesn't have anything to do with the actions you take or how cool you look taking those actions or what it is that you're doing. And yes, we all deserve joy and love, and those are our, that's like what they call it, divine inheritance. Like, that's who and what we are. We are love. It's not something that we go find outside of ourselves. We're meant to open as the love that we already are. So it's not about deserving. It's already there. It is. We just are separated from it, and the veil can be a punk sometimes. It's all about remembering. We just are here to remember. So with that said, I think that I probably talked long enough. I encourage people, if any of this resonates with you, I understand that the 10-week Galactic Guided Intensive is called Meet the Galactics. It will be led by the Galactics, and there will be different Galactics beings that come in every week with guidance and downloads and a lot of activations, and sort of the headlines of the activations and the names of the beings that are going to be coming through are on the landing page, which is on my website. But beyond that, they talk about all of this stuff. The guidance is about all of this. So you have the opportunity to connect to their energies if you want. So if you do align with being a starseed, and you want to really embody your galactic consciousness and connect with your star family or other lifetimes and your star brothers and sisters, this is a great course to do that. If you're kind of like, oh, I don't know, but I'm really interested in this galactic stuff, then this is also a great opportunity, because you can come in, you can receive the information, you can still receive the activations and the downloads and all that stuff. And then we also have 5 really amazing speakers that I'm very excited about. We start on Wednesday and Thursday this week. I'm going to keep registration open for a while, but obviously it's beneficial to get in now. There are limited seats, but there are also seats available. Not good at sales, because I'm also transparent. There are limited seats, but there's still plenty of seats available. So it's just, I'm here to sort of put out this frequency and this resonance to see if you resonate. Not, well, I mean, sure, with me, but with the energies that are coming through. And if you do, then that's kind of, that's it right there. That's all you need to know. If you would like to talk to me about it, which is completely understandable because a lot of you, and recently I've just been meeting a lot of people sort of new for the first time that are like, who the heck are you? Galactic Ashley, I don't understand. If you want to talk to me, just send me an email at info@galacticashley.com or send me a direct message, and I'll call you and we'll talk about it. And I will tell you this right now, I am not allowed to, the beings told me this from day one, I'm never allowed to talk anybody into getting a session or to joining a course or to doing anything with me, not just because we talk about sovereignty like 24/7 and free will is so important, but it's not for me to influence you. So I'm saying if you talk to me and you have questions about the course, you can feel safe, or you don't have to feel safe. I'm hoping that you'll feel safe because I'm giving you my word, we're working with words, that I will not sell you on the course or talk you into it. I will be honest and answer all of your questions and then let you kind of work it out. A lot of people are like, are you getting a hit that it's for me? And then, the question is, are you getting a hit that it's for you? And sometimes I might share like a little bit of that, depending usually when I know the person. But ultimately, like, it's your decision. So I won't sell you on it. So I'm safe to like talk it through with and find out if it's right for you. Because that's the most important thing, right? Like, nobody wants to, you want to be where you want to be, and you want to be there if it's for you. But I'm really excited about it. There's a ton of energy, and there's also going to be like a lot of new stuff that like I don't even know. Something kind of really interesting came in the other day about like a new way to connect to Gaia, and I have a way that I connect with her which is different, and I have a way that I ground which is different, and I don't mean like cool, I just mean it's just different. It works for me and maybe other people like me, but this is something totally different, and I'm really fascinated to see how that is going to turn out, because they basically were like, we're gonna show you like this one, I'm sure there's many ways, but this one way to really like become one with Gaia, because the deeper that we are connected and anchored here and we feel this oneness here, the more powerful we become, and the more that we can connect out and really connect with our multidimensional aspects and really anchor them in here, because we are really lovely, like tons and tons of frequencies are coming in, but each one of us has the potential, and it's also needed that we bring these very unique gifts through our frequency. So when we are able to embody our galactic consciousness to the best of our ability, which is always expanding, it's not like you embody it and you're done, that frequency that you bring in from all of your experiences, past, future, and present, all in this infinite now moment, and with all of your lineages, both from this planet and other planets and other dimensions and other universes too. When you bring those frequencies in through you, that helps this place, this being, all of us here so much, and that is really what we're here to do, right? That's part of, I would almost say that's part of every single living being's mission is to bring their unique frequency just through them and connected, especially those of you that are connected to a lot of big energies out there and galactic energies, and you're just being asked to remember so that you can anchor your nature in. I mean, that's the beauty of it, right? Like, you connect with who you are, where your home is. It's those frequencies of your heart, like that is what you're meant to bring here. So when you get to remember home, and then remember that home is where you are, as long, like, you just have to embody that, and then that's part of your mission, is to basically be in your home frequencies and be connected to your galactic family and all of these experiences, your angels, the celestials, whatever, and then those are the frequencies that you run through yourself, because that serves the morphic fields in this planet. Like, that's pretty amazing. So that's a lot of what we're doing, and I'm really excited, and I hope to hear from some of you or see some of you soon. So with that, I don't know, I like need, I have no accountability like when to stop talking. So I'm just going to make up the closing music from the whatever, end of Jeopardy or something. And I'll just say thank you, thank you, thank you. And I love you, I love you, I love you. And I hope to see you not tomorrow, but then the next day with another contemplation day. So bye.